Hello, this is a preview of the PP3DP Up Mini. This is a prototype unit I managed to get my grubby little hands on. It's going to be announced on Tuesday, 2 days away at CeBIT. But the video probably comes out with CeBIT, not to mess up with the announcements. The construction of the printer is now in a nice box format. Looks a lot more professional than the older one. Slightly larger in size because of the full box frame. Let me just spin that around for you. So at the front you have a panel that allows you access to the extruder to probably work on it, as well as a front main door to open up to access your printed parts. But let's look a bit at the more boring stuff. On the right hand side, again you can see it's a steel sheet metal construction, 2 ports, power supply, and the USB connector, USB mini. Presumed the package will come with all the cables. Because this is a prototype unit, I actually only just managed to get the box, didn't even get the power supplies or the cables associated. But that's another problem. At the back, little filament holder here, a little filament guide. I presume that the filament will go up and into the extruder, main power switch, and the final side is pretty boring. Nothing here. Again, sheet metal construction. Let's put this the right way around. I've not actually turned on the unit yet. Forgot to mention, there's another button here. It feels like, because it's a momentary switch, a initialize button, similar in function to the old ups, I presume. So again, open this up again. Not sure if you can see it in the video. And gently pull this out. It's a heated PCB platform now, with heated tracks all throughout the platform, probably to do a more consistent heat across the platform. So with the enclosed chamber, you'll probably keep the heat in, so you won't get the problem with the old up where it's open frame and you are subjected to drafts, gusts of wind as you walk past that ends up cooling the part and warping the parts. So seems like improvement, don't know for sure yet. Let's move this back in and close the door. Just for the video, not even turned this unit on yet. Almost practically out of the box, except a little hiccup with one of the extruder mounts. Let me just get some. So it's going to be using the same PP3DP plastic, vacuum sealed in a very nice bag to keep the moisture out from the ABS. So out of the box, when this unit actually ships, I expect this will be about the amount of setup time a typical user would need to do to get printing. So this is basically out of the box, and I'm just going to set it up. So it might be a boring next 15 minutes or so. Plastic. Where's the start of the plastic? This roll's different. Somehow they managed to squeeze this roll right down. Snip the front part of the plastic where it's a bit curled up. That just makes it easier to feed through. Feed into the extruder. So I'll just turn this around for a moment. thread. Thread the plastic through the little guide there. Again, I've not used this printer before and it hasn't actually come with any instructions whatsoever. So it came in the box with this little tube. I presume it's like the filament guide for the old up, where it actually helps guide the filament along a path and make sure it doesn't catch on anything. There's a little gap here where I presume the filament feeds through, and then you probably open it up and feed it down the extruder hole. The filament goes through, feeds through the extruder hole. Let me grab my laptop. Laptop. Power supply. Back of the laptop. And just put it into the up. Okay, first power on for this printer, or at least not at the factory. Nice multicolored LEDs there. Plugging in the USB cable now. And let's just, before I plug in the USB cable, just press this and see if it's actually initialize. Yep, so it functions as an initialize button and changes color once it's initialized. Because I've got one of the first generation ups, I was one of the first 100 people who bought one. My up has optical limit switches, whereas this one has noticeable clicks when it hits the end stops. So it's actually mechanical limit switches on this as it initializes. So I've just plugged in the printer. And I'm wondering if Windows will be popping up with any drivers. Any moment. Start it up. Reached a little hiccup. This computer is not recognizing the up through this cable. Let me just quickly grab my other laptop where it's actually configured to use the up. And I'm back. Let's try this one again. laptop, except you can see this one I was actually printing downstairs. This one actually can see the printer, so it's probably something with my setup. Probably, I don't know, probably a firewall or something weird like that. So it's not the problem of the printer. So let's just have a look. I'm going to try just move the printer as I normally do. So moving the printer works using the standard up software. It's a new rod design, it sounds like, so the movements sound different. I'm not sure if it's better or worse compared to the old up. But let me just pause the video for a moment and I'll try to get my other printer working. I don't want to stuff up my existing nicely set up laptop. I'm just going to start the video right back. I thought it might actually take a while. In fact, I'll just show the process of fixing it. I've just gone to my computer. It's actually that I don't have my USB drivers for the printer installed. Being an old time user, I haven't been following the instructions. So let's just have a go. I just went to device manager and found that there's a 3D printer without a driver. Say update driver for it and browse to the C drive program files up driver directory, and it's now installing the printer driver, and that's it done. So now if I start the up program from this computer, it now says prepared for printing. And let me just try my old tricks I just did on my other printer, the laptop. It moves there, moves there, there, and there. It's a bit odd at the moment, so noticing for the first time, it says the platform is at minus 9.5 degrees and the nozzle is at 14.4. Nozzle one cutoff makes sense, that's what the temperature is around here, but the minus 9.5 might be due to the different platform design. I'm just going to press table heat for 1 hour. Let's see what that goes to. At the same time, I'm going to try, just make sure I put in a new spool, extrude, and that gives the time to heat up. So, oh, just noticed, since the print is doing something, it's now flashing its indication LED. And for anyone watching this video and thinking I'm fumbling along, I did not get any instructions for this printer. It just came to me in a box, just like that. Actually, the print platform, again, I didn't get anything else with the printer. I'm just going to use one of the existing perforated PCBs with fine pitch 2.5mm, 2.5mm separation, zigzagged across. So I'm just going to feed that into the printer. Probably can't see from the video, but there's these metal brackets that's effectively holding down the PCB there. I'm not quite sure how well that will work out because I don't think it has enough grip as a gut feel to hold the PCB down. But again, because it might be that this PCB was not intended for the printer. But that's all I have in my hand, so that's all I can try. The nozzle is at 160 degrees now. Let me just bring it back to the center so I can probably feed it back easily. Nope, it's not accepting the center command while it's heating. So assuming it's like the old printer, it will beep at me when it's ready for me to just gently push down the filament to feed it. Suspense. $215 now. Funnily enough, the platform that I am supposedly preheating at the moment is still registering minus 9.5 degrees. I'm using the PP3DP up version 1.16 software, but then again, it might just be the software no longer registering a temperature, or the platform itself is self-regulating to a consistent temperature and there's actually no temperature sensor to feed back to the software. Don't know which one it is yet, but that's what you get with a prototype and a preview from someone who doesn't work for the company. So 260 now. Sounds like it's time for me to gently push down. Is it feeding? So there's some black stuff coming out of the nozzle. Ah, they must have been using black ABS. But they must have some secret ABS that they're not selling to us poor consumers. So I'm just going to let all the black flow through. Probably can't see in the video, so just zoom in there. Just going to extrude it a bit more to let the black flow through. It's still coming out black. Which is impressive. So with this new printer, it doesn't have the filament feeder, but then again, that has been removed from the newer up printers. So I'm not sure how well this arrangement goes. It's clearing up now, so I'm just do a little bit more. Okay, the filament coming out is now a shade of grey. So let's see if I can just... it's out of focus, but I'm holding in my hand here some of the black stuff that came out initially, and now what's coming out now. If the camera focuses. Nope, it's not focusing, but it's coming out white now. So that's how long it takes us to set up this printer. Now let's see. Almost forgot the first thing I'm meant to do is to initialize the platform height. So we're not ready to quite print yet. I'm not sure how you're meant to actually do it with the lid down, so I'm just going to do it with the lid up. Take it to a certain height. Ooh, so it's very close. I've set it to 120. At the moment it's pretty close to 120. Missing pliers. So let's take it to 122. 123. Probably got a couple more there. 125. 125 is already touching, so I'm just taking down a notch. 124. So I have around 1 mil there. Let's take it to the corners. So what I'm doing here is just adjusting the Z height of the printer. So 124.5, and that looks like it's 0.2 of a mil away from the edge, from the nozzle, from the platform. So I'm just going to do set nozzle height, do a test to confirm the setting. Let's be brave and say no. Alright, let's drop a bit lower first. I'm just going to touch the platform and see. It's warm, it's lukewarm at the moment. Unlike the old platform, I believe the old platform went to 100 degrees for ABS. At the moment this is lukewarm. If I had to guess, it'll be around, oh, in the center it's a bit warmer than the edge, which is a bit odd considering it's the PCB track. If I had to guess, this is around 50 or so degrees. So what I'll do is I'll load up a really small model. Right down this direction. Oops, see that easy. So what I'm doing there is I'm just loading our model up. And rotate it. Nope, not this way, this way. Alter place it. Alright, let's try to do a print preview and see how long or what options we have. It actually recognizes the printer as an Up Mini 70006. So it actually recognizes that this is a different printer, the software. The Z resolutions I have available to me, a little bit less of options than the My Up. This one has 0.25, 0.3 and 0.35 for the Z resolution. Let's see if we can see this in the video there. So let me just zoom in slightly more. So we have 0.25, 0.3, 0.35 Z options. Base height, one shouldn't need to change. I'm just going to press restore defaults. And all the other parameters are pretty much standard, similar to the old printer. So angle 45 degrees, sorry, 50 degrees. I know my model requires a 40 or 45, so I'm just going to change it to 40. Press OK. Quality is still normal, fast and fine. Heat platform after finish. So everything is pretty much the same as the old Up, except for the Z resolution options. So let's just look at the maintenance again. It's still showing minus 9.5 degrees heating. I'm just going to have another touch of the printer, the platform, and it feels like it's not warming up anymore. So let me just oopsie daisy. Skip that. Probably the action will be up there, so I'm just going to give it a go and see how it works. So print. Let's go with resolution normal, 0.25, and let's do a print preview and see how long it takes first. You can always do a print preview using the Up software. So 0.25 loose fill, normal. Press OK. It slices the model and tells me it will take 15 minutes. If I do print preview, quality fine, again 0.25, it'll tell me it will take 20 minutes. Let's go fine and see. I want to, because this is the first time I've used the printer, I want to know what's the best resolution you can come up with. So it's going to take 20 minutes, but let's just have a look. So I've just pressed print on the software, and it's now sending the data to the printer. Is that in the video? Yep, that's in the video. It's blinking away saying it's receiving data, I presume. And it's just as loud as the old printer. I'm not sure how loud that will be if I close the lid. Can we still see the... You can still see the nozzle with the top lid closed, which is good. I want to actually allow this filament guide a bit of slack. One of the feedback I've already given to the PP3DP guys is that this lid actually sits on top and actually restricts movement of the filament. So you probably, with the prototype at least, probably couldn't print with the lid up. So I'm just going to put it down, and hopefully they fix that with the production model of this printer. So I've just cheated and gone into the maintenance screen just to see where the printer's up to. It's up to 170 degrees for the nozzle. Again, well, the platform is still lukewarmish. I'll say 50 degrees, just based on my non-calibrated finger. Because I'm printing a small part, I'm actually going to leave the door open. I think the door and the enclosed chamber will be very good for large models that extend the size of the platform. With the Z height, I've noticed that it's actually, I had to set it to 123.5, whereas with the older up that I have, I can get up to 130 something or 140 almost. So there's a reduction in the available build area, at least from the Z axis, and I think also across the XYs as well. So the printer's at around 250 degrees now. Any moment now it probably will start printing. And I've just noticed it's actually, the little extrude action, it's already subtracted some of the material. There we go. That started at 258. Platform coming up. I'm wondering if that noise is because I've set the Z height a bit too high. But it should be okay. The raft looks like it's printing a lot faster than I would expect from the old ups on the fine resolution, so I'm not sure if this printer is actually any faster. Because of the problem back there, I'm just going to lift this up a little bit. You can see the print head printing the raft. The up software always auto-generates the support raft as well as any support structures it needs. So it was really just print and go for me just then. Step in front of the camera. Grab my trusty little chisel. Let's see if I can just leave this up slightly for the camera to take a video. That's not too bad. And hello to the cat. The basic impression of the printer is that it looks a lot more professional, and if it's more in an office environment, having a nice little case, it doesn't stand out. Let's see if I can't exactly smell the ABS fumes because with the PP3DB up filament, it's usually pretty good. It's usually with the colored stuff I can buy elsewhere. For example, the red filament and any dyed filaments, they usually stink when you print them. But what's been really good with the PP3DP plastics is that there's usually no off-gassing of dyes because of the impurities of anything else. There's not that obnoxious smell to it. Most people complain about ABS because it has this horrible fume smell. Not so bad right now, and I think if I close the door and the lid, it probably might be self-contained, but still probably best to print in a well-ventilated area. And my concerns about the PCB not being held down is probably unwarranted. Doesn't seem to have any problems right now. But I still think it would be better to have an extra little pin there. Because the platform's so cool, I had a worry that I wouldn't be able to remove the model. Because it's only lukewarm, I can probably feel comfortable just removing the PCB a bit later on. So this will take a while. I'm just going to walk out and let that do its thing. Actually, one thing to just try out is probably, if I do close the lid, negligible difference in sound level if you can hear from the video. Because there's too many holes and gaps for the sound to come out. Probably keeps the heat in well enough, but it doesn't make the printer any quieter. There. Let me just check. Nope, it's not going to print any supports inside my little whistle. while the printer is printing away, I'm not saying much. I'm just having a look at the filament that extruded out from the nozzle originally, and surprisingly it's black, and it's a really strong black, which is not the stuff you get, say, from Maker Gear or MakerBots, because they're usually really crappy black plastic that just snaps on you. But this, oh, it snapped, but took a bit of force. This looks like really nice plastic, whatever they were using. Damn it, I want some. So, not sure if I was meant to notice that, but that's a good sneak peek of maybe there'll finally be colors coming soon. Just to kill the silence, I'm printing in fine and probably the best resolution the printer can handle at the moment, hence it's taking so long. So if anyone makes a comparison on why this is taking so long, that's one of the reasons. I can probably make it a third of the speed, probably even a quarter. I do remember on the old up, if I print it on the 0.4 resolution, this print only takes 7 minutes. At the moment it's 20 minutes because I'm selecting the highest resolution and the best possible quality. Again, just so I can compare visually and make comments if this is any good compared to the old up. Is it an improvement? Is it roughly the same with just an external change in packaging? Or what? It does look like a lot more consumer friendly with the box. For engineers, tinkerers, the open frame was a great idea, that you can see the print as it happens, like what we're doing now with the door open. But sometimes for parents with kids that don't want the kids to accidentally touch the hot extruder nozzle, which is at 260 degrees, this seems like a good safety feature to have an enclosed box. The closed box is also going to be, I feel, also great for printing large models. So for results, this will probably be better than the open frame, whereas the open frame is a lot more interesting, like you see with the old up, with the rep wraps, and you can see printing in action. You feel good about it. But if you want results, this probably will turn out better. So it looks like we're halfway there now. One thing I don't like about the prototype is the shiny reflective surface. You can see my hand in the reflection surface. That is like a grease magnet for fingerprints. Oops, the video just ended as I was playing with videos. It's due to my camera. clamps. I'm not sure if that noise can be heard over the video, but I believe sounds from the friction of the from the friction of the filament reel behind rotating. There's no bearings, it's actually just a printed support, and it's just making a little sound as the filament reel rotates. Maybe I'll just lift up the camera and go for some close-ups right here. So the filament comes in, you can see it moving there through the little slot at the back. That was good. And then it is just being fed from the spool sitting at the back there, held by a printed support. There's a little printed guide here, and you see my little spatula holding up. And let's see if we can go in for some close-ups. Inside the printer, again all sheet metal construction. The linear bearings, linear slides, in the old printer replaced by these rods where linear bearings sit on, and it's again still belt driven. Stepper motor, PCB and the main motherboard, etc. hidden behind that metal panel at the back. I won't go into much detail just to not reveal PP3DP's trade secrets, but just want to show the construction is, it's a well engineered product. And in fact, what perfect timing. Let me see if I can just reach over and grab it. Oops. As I said, I don't feel uncomfortable just reaching in and grabbing this. So, can't. So let me just close the lid. And 1 second, put the tripod back on. It's resting home. Probably can't see it in the video, but that's a whistle. You can still see a bit of graying out because I didn't extrude the black plastic that was still inside the printer before we started. Automatic support material, and let me just pry that right off. So I'm just going to say pop. pops right off usually. A lot of people complain about this PCB, about it having issues with holes all clogged up. They're probably having it either A, nozzle too low, sorry, as in too close to the nozzle, or they're not waiting for it to cool a little bit before the plastic contracts. And so again, I just snapped that right off using my hand. Didn't really get to use this. I'm not sure if that actually came up in the video. Need to do a little bit of filament support removal. Let's give that a go. Nah, it's not very good. It doesn't have the sharp whistle sound to it that I was expecting out from the old printers. But it's still... Let's see if we can see the print quality on this. It's too blocking the sun. So the print quality on this model is still very good. The overhang letters printed out okay. There's a bit of charring under the little N, Manos.net, the N on the Manos.net. But again, just a reminder, this is a prototype. I'm just going to end the video and see if I can print something bigger. Noticeable amount of warp. Funny, it's all at the back though. So, red light remains illuminated. Just gonna switch off the power from the back. Yep, cool.